With everything going on in real estate, the market has absolutely changed. So we're no longer in a space where you can just put your property on the market and expect to get over asking, especially if it's not getting any exposure. We got to do some marketing, right? Agents have to now showcase some real skills, provide some real value to get you the most money possible for your home. And personally, I couldn't be more excited. And that's exactly why you're here. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So my name is Solomon Gill, and I'm here to hopefully drop a few real estate gems and to blow your mind about how we're doing that for our clients, okay? We're not just listing properties, we're selling homes, and I always tell people that we consider ourselves to be more like a marketing agency that happens to sell real estate. We're crushing it with this new target marketing approach, and it's helping us get our sellers on average 5% to 8% more than the rest of the market is getting their clients. And to kind of put this in perspective for you, if you're talking about a property that's at $500,000, you're talking about a net difference of about $45,000 at closing. If we're looking at $1 million property, we're talking about a $90,000 difference here. So what I want to do today is kind of share with you my 3 secrets that we know that so few people know that gets property sold, gets them sold fast, and gets the most money possible. And you're about to know them as well. So let's jump in. All right. Number 1 is the best buyers are already shopping for their home, okay? We just have to get in front of them. We have to interrupt them from getting on those portal sites, getting on all those other platforms that make sure, that they stay on those sites, and we got to get them in our world first. So we always tell our clients that when we take a listing, we've already kind of been marketing their listing because we have a database of actively shopping buyers who are looking for properties in all different price points, all different types of homes, in all different areas right here in Maryland. So we can actually kind of filter down that criteria to see who's most actively shopping for a property that's just like yours, right? Most agents follow the 3 Ps, right? They put it on the MLS, they put a sign in the yard, they might do some professional photos, and lastly, actually, let's give them a bonus P, right? Because they pray that somebody comes along with a buyer that makes an offer on a home, and that's not selling a home, that's just listing it. And the reality is that the ones that have that presentation, that they practice so well, they also say that when you list your property with them, it's going to get distributed to about 500 websites, right? It's going to get translated into 19 different languages. And I'm here to tell you that no matter who you go with, local agent, super agent, best friend, the MLS does that for everybody automatically. So there's nothing different about that approach. The challenge with doing it that way is that when the property does get listed and it goes on the market, all of those platforms that are distributing your listing are now selling it as a lead to other agents. And you've seen those agents on Zillow at the bottom, Premier Agents, click here, Realtor.com. They paid to be there, and they're also paying to use your home as a lead, right? So what's going to happen is they're going to get sold to whatever agent who's willing to pay the most money for that particular lead. And it's probably going to be someone who knows nothing about your property, might not know anything about the area. So your property's been distributed to a million different websites, and it's great for exposure, but that's not actually what gets properties sold. And so what we do is we take a different approach by focusing on nurturing our own database and being really intentional about understanding what they're looking for with our Perfect Home Finder program. So we kind of vet our buyers well beforehand, and we're separating that property from all the noise of all the different portals, and we're not letting them go shop somewhere else and then having an agent sell them another property. We're putting your home in front of the most opportunistic buyers first. So number 2 is speed, and speed absolutely matters, and it matters way more than you probably think. If you've ever reached out to a real estate agent and you didn't get a call right away, what did you do? You probably were just like, okay, I'll reach out to someone else, or maybe even try again. And if you did, bless your heart. Or you'll probably just forget about that property and move on to another one. And the science actually backs this up. In fact, the stats are showing that if a lead does not get responded to within 5 minutes, it's actually 400% less likely to turn into a conversion. So think about your home as an online lead. So speed is incredibly important. Now, the most important thing here is that, agents, they're not likely going to be able to have that level of responsiveness, that level of speed, because we have lives. So what we did is actually enrolled a call center that specializes in real estate lead conversion. All right. We're not going to miss out on a lead. So what we do is we put that phone number on all of our marketing so that when someone reaches out about one of our listings, they're immediately sent over to our call center, and that's their only job. So if I have daddy do lists to take care of, I don't want to miss calls. So we screen them and then they send them to us. Only the most opportunistic buyers get to us, right? And hopefully we get to look at your property, we get an offer on the table, and it's much faster simply because of the speed to response. Now, secret number 3 is that only 2 emotions drive us to make decisions, like making an offer on property and doing it quickly or aggressively. And that is scarcity and urgency. So think about during the pandemic when literally everybody, their mom, their grandpa, their dog, their cousin, right, were all trying to buy a property, right? Doesn't seem like that long ago, but everybody was willing to be super aggressive because everybody wanted to get an offer accepted. Even long before the pandemic, that's the goal. We've actually been driving that kind of buzz because we use our target marketing approach. And that way we put a property on the market. We do a lot of pre-marketing. We do a lot of marketing when that property first comes on, okay? We hold all of the showings until there's a real buzz going. And because of that, they're all coming to this listing launch event is what we like to call them, where everyone has been seeing this home for weeks. And the buyers and their agents are just chomping at the bit, right? So now, what would a potential buyer see at our live launch is buyers talking about how they want to decorate. They've been waiting for this home as they walk around. And we have another buyer and an agent in the kitchen talking about how they can't wait to cook all their family meals here, right? And maybe there's an agent in the yard with their client and they're talking about just flat out making an offer. There's a lot of psychological things that kick in there that makes that urgency and that scarcity come out. So if you don't move quickly enough and they're not aggressive enough, then they know that they're not going to end up getting the home they want. So the benefit to you as a seller is that instead of the buyer competing against you, the buyers are actually competing against each other, right? So ultimately, you end up winning. And for those of you who are thinking like, okay, well, I only need one buyer, right? True, but the challenge with having only one buyer is that oftentimes they're savvy enough that they know they're the only buyer. So even if they get an offer accepted, you already know what they're going to do. They're going to rip you to shreds during the negotiations and inspections, appraisals, maybe even asking price, right? When you have a bunch of offers on the table, the buyers know that they can't do that. And so you actually end up winning again. So here's the bonus one, right? I really need to stress this. Financing needs to be flexible and you need to be able to offer creative financing, especially if we start to see a lot more properties come on the market as I anticipate. So you're going to see that as the economy starts to tighten and that financing is going to get harder for buyers, right? So instead of just offering the traditional financing that we've done, is actually built relationships with lenders that do alternative types of financing for, self-employed buyers, for foreign nationals, right? For, it's e-commerce guys, there's crypto people. Everybody wants to buy a home, and we have to make sure we have an expanded buyer pool because we know how to work with all types of different transactions. So that is actually your 4 secrets. Now you're probably thinking like, okay, well, that sounds great and all, but like, how much are you going to sell my house for, right? And that's a great question. And that's exactly why on this page, all right, you're going to see a link to my calendar, right? So you can pick a time for us to chat. I got to see the home. I want to be very clear. Like, we're not into like high pressure sales. We're not here to rush you. We truly believe that if it's not an absolute yes, it's an absolute no. So there's zero commitment here. It's just an educational, informational purposes only type of thing. And I just caution you that the market is shifting. So as we're putting all the options on the table, we need to know, what it looks like for you versus if you're here to wait 3 months, 6 months, a year. If you were able to do the upgrades versus the property or not, all those things we're going to talk about, all those things we need to know, and it kind of affects your timeline. So go ahead, pick a time for us to meet. I'm super excited to meet you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Don't waste time. Get in there, get in chat. No pressure.